Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much. We have Michael Rihani, Director of Product at Coinbase, joining us on the other side of the mic. A new face to the program, and to an extent, a new face to Coinbase as well, joining over from Jack Dorsey's block. He's been in his seat, I think he said before he turned on the mics, for 6 months. And we're going to be walking into the launch of Bitcoin-backed USDC loans on Base, and basically just take a peek under the hood on how Coinbase, which obviously is at the forefront of building out the crypto economy, is linking together or intertwining basically the world of on-chain finance, on-chain finance with some of the common financial services tools and applications that we use on a daily basis. Before we dive into the show, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Uranium.io, an entirely new marketplace for trading uranium and powered by Tezos technology, is live. As global energy demand rises and nuclear power becomes a key player in decarbonization, demand for U3O8 is increasing. But up until now, its access to retail investors has been limited. Unlike other precious metals like gold or silver, the traditional uranium market has high barriers with minimum lot sizes of tens of thousands of pounds that's limited retail participation. Tokenized uranium breaks these barriers, enabling anyone to own physical uranium with accessible pricing and no need for complex storage. Investing in uranium is now widely accessible, and you can learn more at www.uranium.io. For crypto and DeFi professionals looking to contribute to a team committed to innovation in digital assets, Fidelity Investments is now hiring. Why Fidelity? For starters, they've been exploring Bitcoin and blockchain since 2014. They were the first traditional asset manager to launch a native crypto business and among the first to launch a Bitcoin exchange-traded product. Innovation is in their DNA. Fidelity invests in their talents by supporting and developing associates through continued education opportunities, casual crypto-focused discussion groups, and on-the-job experience of working with new technologies. If you want to work on cutting-edge products and explore the new frontier of DeFi and blockchain, Fidelity is for you. Their products continue to improve and evolve, staying ahead of this rapidly changing digital asset landscape. So go ahead, explore Fidelity Crypto Careers today by going to crypto.fidelitycareers.com to learn more. That's crypto.fidelitycareers.com. Fidelity is an equal opportunity employer. Michael, first off, thanks for joining the program. It's so great to hear that you listen to the show, and it's so great to have you on. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you for your time. Even if you're a little under the weather, I hope you get better, and I'm very excited to chat with you more about Bitcoin-backed loans and what we're doing here at Coinbase, especially on-chain.
The haters are going to be so upset once I make it through this dance with illness, but your presence helps. So this is something that I'm excited for as a user. I mean, anytime Coinbase says something interesting or something I can use, I always enjoy it as a customer. But can you walk us through this product launch and sort of how we got here?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're talking about is our new product that we're rolling out called Bitcoin-backed loans, and this just allows you to borrow cash, USDC, against your Bitcoin without selling it. So that's the main high-level value prop. Let me just verbally walk you through kind of how it works, right? And before I even do that, I think this is really the first time a company at our scale, right? Frank, you were just mentioning Coinbase is an industry leader here, but first time at scale doing something like this and making DeFi so simple, accessible, and convenient that, like, frankly, even my mom, who really doesn't use crypto, she's a Bitcoiner, but she doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really do DeFi stuff. She can use it. My brother has also actually used similar products in the past, but struggled. So, what's really cool about this product is there's no separate wallet. This is actually inside of the Coinbase retail app. There's no seed phrases. There's no janky user experience you need to go to. So, verbally walking you through the experience. You open the Coinbase app, you enter the borrow product, the ability to borrow USDC against your Bitcoin. You give it an amount. You say, I want $10,000. It goes, great. We need $20,000 as collateral, Bitcoin collateral, if you want a 50% loan to value, which is kind of our default. You sign a transaction with the self custody wallet that we have baked in. You Face ID or you passkey, and 30 seconds, start to finish, the USDC is landed. So it's just such a magical, amazing product when you compare it to more traditional services.
Makes a lot of sense. And so, you know, were there certain what sort of boxes did you folks have to check to get to a point where a product like this could be launched, and where does it sort of sit within the product suite?
Yeah, so it sits once again. I'm leading product on the consumer team. So this is the consumer business. We have an institutional side of the business, and when we say the consumer business,
Mm.
it's kind of the retail app. We also have Coinbase Wallet, which is a different app. So this is the retail app, and we really uncovered how complicated. First you have to really understand how complicated DeFi is, right? There's all these different protocols. There's all of these different ways you can do it. You need to load in your token. You need to swap it into something else. You really need to kind of have a mini PhD in cryptography or just be a very crypto native person to even enter the world of DeFi. So I think our team counted, there was probably about 20 steps, I believe, to do something on a DeFi protocol, right? Borrow, lend, etc. So first, we really just understood that suite and that opportunity, right? Because it is amazing. We can talk more about why DeFi in general is amazing. I'd love to touch on that, but yeah, we saw that opportunity, right? And actually, let me just talk on that. Like, why is DeFi awesome? There's really three things, right? It's open, number one. Two, it's global by default. And number three, it's instant. I talked about how you instantly land that. And we saw the benefits of DeFi, but we saw the challenges of how hard the user experience was. So like that's where we're seeing this. And we're also getting customers asking us for this product, right? So customers are asking us, we see a really complicated user experience and we see this amazing opportunity to make something better. So why DeFi is great, it's interoperable when it's open. Number two, the liquidity when it's global. You're not confined to liquidity in one country or one place. And three, it's instant, so you don't need to rely on the delayed settlement infrastructure that more traditional financial services have. And that comes burdened with significant
Yeah.
costs. It's inefficient. So at the end of the day, on chain really brings these technical improvements and takes the inefficiency out.
Well, I mean, Michael, I mean, at the end of the day, it kind of touches on something that I think Coinbase and a lot of other firms strive to do, which is you have two of these worlds, each of which have their own positives, their own drawbacks, and their own upgrades or their own benefits. When I think about, you know, putting $10,000 into my Coinbase account to buy the Solana dip, you guys are fronting in many cases the money so that you don't have to wait necessarily up to a certain threshold of like $100,000 or whatever it might be. Um, Kind of papering over the cracks of the limitations of the existing financial system. And then on the DeFi side here, kind of enhancing, leveraging that back end that's more efficient and more transparent and improving that front end experience.
That's exactly right. And you're putting the words in my mouth and reminding me what you just described is innovation happening in the industry that we like to call the DeFi mullet, right? It's
Hmm.
that normal kind of traditional front end UI. It's that Coinbase in the front and DeFi in the back, right? So there's a lot of complicated process happening, and we've removed that, made it dead simple for everyday customers like you, my mom, and myself. And what's cool is you can interact and do this. You can get that loan on a Sunday night sitting in your pajamas. You don't need to walk down to a traditional institution 9 to 5.
Is it effectively looking at your activity with Coinbase or with DeFi to ascertain your credit worthiness or the threshold of which of that which you could borrow? How are those determinations
That's a
made?
great point. Thanks for bringing it up. I do want to clarify. So what this is that it's a technical integration with a DeFi protocol called Morpho. And so if you or
Oh,
your
of
listeners
course, we got
are,
to bring Morpho into the
yeah, if
fold.
you're not,
Paul,
yeah,
right?
Paul. And so
Paul Formaggio. I forget his last name.
what Morpho is an open source lending protocol on Base, right? And so there is you kind of described, hey, what's needed? Is there a credit score? Do I need to enter in my social
Yeah,
security? And
we've talked
right.
to him. I think he's been on the show.
Yeah,
I think. Let me
so
see.
definitely go listen to that one if you want the deep dive. But we as Coinbase just done a technical integration to this amazing DeFi protocol that gives all those benefits that we talked about at the top, right? And so, and in that example, I was purposeful. Like if you want to get a $10,000 USDC loan, you do need to bring collateral. You need to bring roughly $20,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? So that's how it works, and the risk is adjusted in a DeFi based way.
The risk is not born on Coinbase. It's sort of just these are the parameters set by this protocol. Um, that sort of, you know, provide this output of what can be borrowed effectively.
Exactly. We're just kind of connecting you with a seamless DeFi protocol that has isolated markets. It's scaling liquidity, has very high security standards, and they're and building and integrating on Base, right? So that's where we started.
Hmm. And how did you guys go about, like, finding a partner? Can it be expanded upon? Having different types of providers.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of alluded to we're starting here, right? This is
Yeah.
a one technical integration. Morpho is an excellent DeFi protocol, but there's more out there, right? And you could imagine in the future that we'd love to support more options and give our customers even more options potentially to choose from different rates and protocol rules.
You know what's so interesting about this to me is, historically, when you think about the crypto landscape, you had centralized lending players existing, which effectively were trying to look very similar to, your typical fintech app, but built for these specific assets, crypto assets. And then you had DeFi. The problem with the former being that, when you think about crypto's credit crisis in 2021, was that you sort of obfuscated or made you kind of made an inherently volatile asset more, or rather less transparent. You sort of extracted the one thing that's super valuable about it, which is being able to see the on-chain activity. So you had lenders sort of doing a whole bunch of stuff within a black box to then either provide yield to one side or to lend to another, effectively, again, stripping out the value and then um, injecting more risk into the system. And then at the same time, on the DeFi side, you had fully transparent, always worked, everything settled, very little like broken systems, even when that crisis happened. But again, not as nice to look at. No marketing spend, in that arena where, you could see uh be drawn to that. And then here we are in 2025 where we're kind of marrying the two, kind of going back to that sort of theme of bringing the two worlds together.
Yeah, I think what you're saying and what I'm hearing and what I totally agree with is DeFi is really here. I think it's becoming mainstream, and we're super excited to make it dead simple. A few things, one other point. I've been saying this for the last 10 years. I've been working in fintech and payments for over a decade now. I've always been saying kind of the banks are going to become and want to become more like fintechs, right? And then the fintechs are going to realize that they want to become more like crypto companies, right? And then crypto companies are going to, do more of DeFi. So you can see how these money and financial services companies are progressing over the last decade, and I think that's only going to continue and potentially even accelerate. And what you're also pointing on is DeFi maturing. The core functions and primitives are really getting stronger. Everything you mentioned: issuance, governments, risk management, it's all there. It's all transparent. You can go see it all. So it's the benefits of some of the original cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and open and transparent, and then bringing Base and Ethereum um, decentralization and transparency as well.
So how far are we from a world in which, I can buy a car or put down payment on a house with a loan backed by Bitcoin?
Yeah, well, you can we know
Effectively,
customers. You
yeah.
can effectively do
Yeah,
that today.
effectively
I mean,
do that,
this
yeah.
this product, we're still rolling it out, number one, but this product we're starting with, you can borrow up to $100,000, but we're already hearing customers say, "Hey, I want to borrow more because I want to,
Want the
put."
Audi Q8?
Well, I want to. We actually heard stories from people. Frank, we were talking earlier. Down in LA, unfortunately, people lost their homes due to the fires. And we talked to some customers, and they're like, "Hey, I don't want to sell my Bitcoin, but I want access to liquidity." And so people wanted to borrow against their Bitcoin to put money on it as a down payment on a new house. So, like, people are doing this today. And you can definitely do it with that car loan situation and putting a down payment on a car loan. So very real use cases. One other very real use case was my brother, had an unexpected medical bill come up. He's a Bitcoiner, as I mentioned, but he doesn't really know DeFi and understand how this works. So he did this about a year ago. He went out and got a personal loan, right? But if you go get a personal loan with a traditional finance institution, let's call it roughly, I think, average 12% rate. I think I was looking at our product this morning. The rate on Morpho right now is about 5 or 6%, so it's about two times better rate. And then it took my brother 3 to 5 business days to get that personal loan, versus, as we said, this takes about 30 seconds. So when you really zoom out, this is roughly 2 times better, at least at the current rates today, fees wise, and more competitive fee rates. And I don't know if my math is right here, but I think that's close to 3,000 times faster. 30 seconds versus 3 to 5 business days. So yes, people are using this today for very real use cases to pay personal bills, cars, etc.
How do you go about expanding it to other assets?
So we definitely have plans to do more, right? So as I mentioned, we are just rolling this out. We want to increase the limits, as we've said, because we've heard that from our customers. You're asking about more assets. We started with Bitcoin because that's the largest asset that really gets unlocked with this. It's the largest asset that our customers hold. And it's the largest asset that really didn't do much besides be a great store of value, right? And now you can get access to it. So we're planning for more assets, but we really want to nail the Bitcoin backed product experience. And we also plan for more access, right? More countries and getting more people into this product when it's the right moment. And Frank, I think you're in New York, as you use a tissue there. I think you're in New York, right? So over time, we'd love to expand this to New York. This is available in
Whoa,
49
whoa, whoa, whoa,
states.
whoa, 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 whoa. In case anyone at the IRS is listening to this call, I am domiciled in New Jersey.
I forgot you're on the East Coast, but yeah, New Jersey. We can talk about New Jersey
It
versus
should
New
be
York.
available in New Jersey, I think.
Yeah, New Jersey. So if you're in New Jersey, you can get access to this. But we
Yeah,
want
no.
more people in the door because people are asking for it.
No, I just work in New York. Um,
Yeah, Bitcoin's the number one most demanded and most used, but we're going to listen to our customers and go where they tell us.
I can't wait to try it. I mean, maybe I didn't really wasn't in the market for anything, but now you've got
You're going to be on Zillow today or checking out
the
those new
wheels
Audis.
spinning. Yeah. Well, I've had the same car for like 3 years. Put 84,000 miles on that bad boy, doing so many trips to Florida.
Does it drive itself, or are you a stick shift kind of guy?
No, it drives itself.
Nice.
Um, Walk us through sort of, I mean, there's obviously a lot of different components in terms of the levels of Coinbase and involved in sort of like expanding the overall product suite. How do you sort of work with Base and think through like a cohesive, holistic product development roadmap? I guess to put a finer point on the question, forgive me because I'm kind of like, you know, trying to find my thoughts as succinctly as possible, or bring them together in a way that makes sense. How do you sort of like work within a firm, an organization, and build out a product roadmap, and also kind of weave in, layer on like this more decentralized um, entity to kind of make sure that everyone's like relatively on the same page, relatively narrow focus, so that you kind of aren't serving multiple masters, as it were.
Yeah, the way I think about that is so I lead financial services on the consumer side of the business. And so we're here to talk about DeFi, but there's innovation that Base can bring to almost every single financial service you can imagine, right? So we have a cash team and product where we have USDC and stable coins. We have a card product, which is a debit card in 30 plus countries where you can spend your crypto and earn crypto rewards. We have a transfers and payments functionality where you can send and receive money. USDC over Base is an excellent way to send and receive money instantly with practically no fees. There's all kinds of innovation happening in staking and, of course, DeFi. So the way I think about it, I'm very customer obsessed. I used to work at Apple. I like to make things very, very simple and easy to use, right? And we would always sit in rooms at Apple and go, "How do we make this magical?" Right? Like,
Mm.
and the word magical was used a lot during brainstorming, right? And that's why I kind of gave you, instead of walking down to my local financial institution, waiting 3 to 5 business days, et cetera, you can do this in your pajamas on a Sunday night in 30 seconds, right? That's magical. That's like a aha moment. So the way we think about it is, in all of these categories and pain points that customers have, is there an aha magical moment that these amazing technologies can provide? Bitcoin, stablecoins, Base, etc. Right? I try to not lead with the technology. We love Base, we love the Base team, we love the ecosystem, we love the builders, but I always start with, okay, what's the problem, and how do we make something magical from that? So that's how we think about it.
So were there any moments where, you're walking through the implementation and you saw something that didn't seem magical to you?
The we really were obsessive about the speed because I think that is a big part of the aha moment. And there's a lot of steps going on in the background, right? There's a lot of complexity. So we try to reduce the latency there as much as possible, and we're going to continue to do that, right? So I think end to end, you can really do this in a minute, but there is, some periods where you have to wait 5 seconds, 7 seconds. And, I think originally in early developments, we had that at 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And so we got that down, and we're going to keep, reducing those speeds because that instant factor is really big from a customer experience standpoint.
That's the biggest sticking point, probably, is just like that latency.
Well, and a lot of magic is happening on the background. We actually call it like a magic platform that we power this self custody wallet. We're using CBBTC to interact with the DeFi protocol. So a lot of magic is happening on the back end, and we have phenomenal engineers that are not only making it a great user experience, but also increasing the speed.
What do you think is some of the bigger challenges to making DeFi truly mainstream for everyday folks?
I think it's really all about better design,
Mm.
better copy, better user experience, and even not just the pixels. I do think an underrated thing that's happening in DeFi right now is fixed rates, where you can lock in a fixed rate because right now it's a variable rate. So just meeting people where they're at, people understand fixed rates, right? People understand really clean, easy to user experiences. So and when I mean design as well, it's like the word choices we use when presenting this to customers is very important. I personally think we shouldn't be leading with the technology. We're not saying this is a cryptographic way to
Oh
borrow
God,
against your
no,
blah
God,
blah
no.
blah using a secure
Well,
enclaves.
I see
It's
so many products, so many websites in crypto that have like that like green, like that dark green gradient, and then like, or like that dark green and then like the black gradient, and it's like, I don't think people like your mother or brother want to feel like they're taking out a loan on the black web.
Yeah, no. And so you go to coinbase.com/loans, shout out to our team who made a beautiful website. It's a white background. says borrow against your Bitcoin without selling it, and it's got Bitcoin and USDC. Right? It's get started. And so I think we're doing a quite good job at it. I
Well, you're
think I'm
hitting at an
always
interesting point though. Like, is there nomenclature, verbiage that, you know, at the end, I think the point you're making is to a certain extent, there's a product impediment, which is just lack of clunkiness and a slowness, but also sort of like a marketing, aesthetic, um, branding issue too that
well,
resides
no,
in.
with that too is the way we present it to the industry is I think a lot of people aren't fully educated and know these things, right? Like you and I are in the industry, we think about this every day and wake up thinking about money and financial services and crypto and how the industry is changing. But my brother's busy; he is not thinking about this stuff, right? And
Yeah,
so a lot of folks don't even know that this exists, right? So it's really just getting it out there and then getting it out there in a very easy, digestible, simple manner.
that makes a lot of sense. So when you think about the next 5 years ahead, thinking about the DeFi lending landscape evolving, what are you paying attention to? What are you most excited about?
5 years, that's a long time in the crypto industry. I'll give it my best. Things I'm excited about, one of them I mentioned earlier was innovation around better designs for fixed rates with DeFi. I think that'll be a big unlock on that simple, easy to understand narrative. I think bringing non Ethereum wrapped assets on chain is exciting, and institutional participation will probably start increasing. I'm on the consumer side, but you can anticipate more institutional investors coming to the table here. Um, you can think about a lot of really let's think a little bit even more blue sky too, right? That's maybe in the next 6 or 12 months is actually happening. I know those things are roadmapped on a 5 year timeline. I think everything is going to go on chain. Every single thing. Decentralized identity is a massive opportunity to disrupt kind of traditional payments and how underwriting is done. You can imagine a decentralized credit score. You can imagine DeFi working without collateral and bringing your decentralized identity with verifiable credentials and having other participants on the DeFi protocol look at that and go, okay, I will give you a loan, right? Because you're bringing these credentials to the table in a trusted and decentralized way. So all kinds of innovation. Every single financial product you go to and think about is going to be disrupted and brought on chain.
What do you think the most? What do you think there is anything that like won't be brought on chain?
It's a good question.
I'm just thinking. I feel like I agree with you, but wondering if it's like there's this like what's the what do you think is next? I mean, these types of um I mean the problems with a lot of these like consumer loans are that I mean the rates are just so high. That's one problem.
Yeah, I think
And the mailers. Oh my god. You ever get those mailers?
a lot. I think I just threw away two in my from my mailbox the other day. I think putting a pin on what I was just kind of brainstorming out loud on that 5 year vision and future. One of my favorite books in the industry is called Identity is the New Money. It's over 10 years old. So it's kind of a lasting book. And the concept is, back in the day, you would go into your local saloon, walk in, and the bartender would be like, "Oh, hey, Michael, put it on my tab," right? Literally just look at my face, and my identity was my payment method. And if we can do that in a decentralized global way where you self custody your own identity and you self custody your own money, that's going to be game changer for every single financial service. So if we figure that out, that will unlock a lot of innovation. So you're asking what's not going to happen. I'm having a hard time. I really do think, at the core, money is going on chain. At the core, financial services like we see are going on chain. I think identity is going to go on chain. payments are clearly going on chain. I think stable coins, we said DeFi is here. It's officially here. I also think stable coins is officially here. I think the industry is saying this is the year of stable coins. So I think there's gonna be massive innovation in payments. I've been coining a term streaming money, right? Frank, right now, you and I are streaming in 4K right now across the country for free. I was listening to music on the way here. I can stream music. Why can't I stream money? Right. And what I mean by that is I think there's going to be a beautiful intersection of AI and AI agents and them having money and just being able to stream micropayments. So we can probably do a whole nother podcast on that, and love to chat on that, because we think and we're working on that space quite heavily as well.
That's awesome. We'll have you back and we'll talk about micropayments.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time. Where can folks learn more if they want to sign up, reach out, get started?
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned all the listeners should go check out coinbase.com/loans. That's that beautiful white page that explains this in very simple terms. Like I mentioned, we're just rolling this product out. So customers in the United States, go check your Coinbase app and see if you have access to this. We're planning to expand to further countries and customers when we're allowed. Um, and last but not least, come join us if you work in product engineering, design, or any of the cross-functional teams building things here at Coinbase. Check out coinbase.com/careers. We're hiring like crazy.
I know. I saw someone tweeted like 1,000 people over the next year or something.
Yeah, so we're trying to bring the top talent from all over the world. We're a remote-first company, so it doesn't matter where you are. Come apply and join us.
Amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Frank. Hope you feel better.
Thank you. We'll talk to you very soon.